In this presentation, we will be looking at VSTs and how they are used. We will also discover if their use has affected music production as we know it today. Let's jump right into it. Here are the topics that we will cover. First, for those of you who may not know, what is it? Next, a brief history, followed by some examples, and then we're going to discuss how they've impacted music production. So, what is a VST? Well, it stands for Virtual Studio Technology, and it's software that you can use to create and manipulate audio and MIDI. You probably know this software by the more common name it gets given, plugins. Plugins come standard on most DAWs nowadays, and you could expect to find tools like this: compressors, EQs, reverb, delays, and synthesizers, as well as samplers, pitch correction, and real instrument emulators, just to name a few. Basically, there is a plugin for everything and anything you could want to do inside a DAW. And that brings us to the history part. The first commercially released plugins were software that was included in the DAW Cubase in its 3.02 version in 1996. This program came with 4 plugins: Chorus, a spatial, which was like a reverb, stereo echo, and auto panner. Now this is pretty basic by today's standards, but at the time of its release in 1996, when most of the audio effects were being supplied by outboard analog gear, this was revolutionary. Fast forward 12 years and you have massive advancements in computer speed and processing power and more efficient DAWs. So you get products like this, the Superior Drummer 2.0. This plugin boasts a 60GB sample library, a MIDI sequencer, and a feature that allows you to record a drum performance without a drummer or drums. Music producers now had a way to record high-quality drum performances without the need of a drummer, a drum kit, microphones, or a sound-treated room. Given the software does have its drawbacks and wouldn't be able to compete with a professional drummer, but it allowed people to create music that they might not have been able to do previously. Plugins have exploded in more recent years to include more instruments and better quality sounds limited only by imagination. Here's an example of Omnisphere, a huge piece of software that includes over 12,000 sounds and 55 effects engines. The latest version even offers integration with whatever hardware synthesizer you might be using. Like many other plugins, Omnisphere is not only for recording, but has features that allow it to be used as a live instrument, turning any electric piano or MIDI keyboard into an unlimitless bank of sonic power. So this leads me to my argument. Has the use of VSTs been influential in the way we produce music? And I argue that it has been. Not only have they given us more control over sound, but they have also increased our sound palette and tools that we have to work with. It also means that we have musicians who can't afford to record in a studio making quality music. But what about producers who can afford to record in professional studios? Have VSTs also changed the way that they work? Let's find out. In 2011, Skrillex, aka Sonny Moore, was interviewed by Music Radar about his creative process and is quoted here listing his favorite plugins. Also, David Guetta has talked about his preference of compressors and tape emulation plugins in a 2015 interview with Musician's Friend. So what about studios? Has it also affected their music making process? In a paper published by Berkeley Education last year, the author talks about how the emergence of plugins and digital technology is a trend that is only going to continue to grow. Australian author Mike Collins writes in his book, A Professional Guide to Audio Plugins and Virtual Instruments, that today's music creatives and engineers are increasingly using plugins in their DAWs and because of their highly integrated nature. To sum it up, we can conclude that VSTs have changed the way that we create music and have given people greater access to quality productions. They are comparatively cheap and offer a straightforward approach to sound design.